This is people choosing to not have children. My wife and I, we have 3 kids, 2, 4, and 5. And my wife is pregnant right now with our 4th. And the first question we get is, on purpose? Is this on purpose? Yes. Yes, of course. Like 4 kids never used to be a big family. Like that's not, and now it's like a spectacle. Like 4 kids was never a lot. Like not too long ago, you had 4 kids and you're like, well, how many more? And now it's, oh, you sure? 1.7, we are on a path to collapse. Slater family's doing their part. Coming up, we're going to talk about why. Why is this happening? And there's a lot of forces. One of them is feminism. This cultural force telling women to forego having children, instead go out, get a career. Go, first of all, have fun in your 20s. Go have fun. Go in the city. Have fun in the big city. Go get drunk at the clubs. It'll be great. Then go get your career settled in your 30s. Make as much money as you possibly can. And then later, if you want, later, you can think about maybe having children. And before you know it, a woman's 38, not married. And even if they do get married, they can only have maybe like 1 kid before, right? And the feminists never told women that you have a biological clock. If wife and I could do it again, and I would advise younger men to get married sooner and have kids right away. Get married sooner, have kids right away, have as many as you can. It's awesome. So that's one reason. There's lots of forces that we'll talk about coming up. There's the city cultural divide as well that we'll talk about with our next guest. But what does this mean? Like, what does this mean for our economy? What does this mean for our culture? Why is it bad? Right? Why is it a bad thing if our population goes down? If most people say there's too many people, wouldn't it be good if the population goes down? That's what we're going to talk about on today's show. We'll make sense of this because this very well could be the greatest civilizational problem of our day, right? Will we exist in 100 years? Let me leave you with this point because we got some great guests. I've been giving you the birth rate numbers for women in America and other Western countries, but that's not the whole story. It's a big world. You know the birth rate in Niger? It's not 0.9, it's 6.8. Somalia is 6. Most African countries are in the 5s. Most Middle Eastern countries are in the 4s and 5s. Think about this. Why do you speak English today? There's 3 reasons why the Western world colonized the world first. There's 3 reasons. 1, we invented ships that can travel the oceans. But China did too. There was an amazing Chinese explorer. His name was Zheng He. And he was around and exploring before Columbus. But Confucianism and Confucian values reined his exploration back in, which is the second reason why Western countries explored the world, is because they had a cultural value of exploration, which China at the time did not. That's the second reason. The third reason is European countries had more people to send around the world. There were more European people. We beat, the Western countries beat infant mortality earlier, and there were more European people to send on boats to colonize the world. The West had a demographic advantage in the 17th and 18th century. But the question is, what if Saudi Arabia did? Okay, well, they didn't. The Western countries did. Okay, what if Saudi Arabia does today? What if Saudi Arabia has the demographic advantage today? What if the future belongs to the countries that are simply making the most people? Or what if the future belongs to the countries that are simply making people? If that's true, then the future belongs to Africa and the Middle East. Certainly doesn't belong to Japan. Does it belong to us? What does that mean for us? Hey, Slater Crusaders, we've been told for decades now that the biggest problem in the planet is there's too many people. Well, perhaps the opposite is true. Perhaps there's too few. Perhaps the biggest problem is not population increase, but population collapse. That's what we talk about in our latest special. What does a world look like where countries cease to exist? What's the role of the vaccine in this birth rate drop? And why I believe more people should be having more kids, especially in our very self-centered world. It's available now on the First TV app. Become a supporter. You can download it at thefirsttv.com.